Yo, what is going on guys, my name's Defend the Machine, and today guys we've got you into the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 video back on the channel. Now today guys we're going to be discussing the top 5 best perks overall in Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and I say these perks like they make the experience better for better players, so they reduce things happening to you that get you killed and you're like, oh man, as if I let that happen, why didn't I have that perk on, sir? Anyways, today these perks will aid you and they are very good perks, so without any further ado, there's obviously honourable mentions in a top 5 or any countdown type of list, so let's get into the 3 of those real quick. So the honourable mentions are Sixth Sense, and I believe Sixth Sense is like a starting perk for any player in the game, because when you've learned where people like to camp around corners or camp in corners, you tend to subconsciously know them spots on every map once you've like learned the maps overall, and then you check them spots subconsciously like I said before. So anyways, that's the first honourable mention, and this is not the top 5 list yet. The next one is Dead Silence. Now Dead Silence, it's just here because it can be counted. If you've got a good headset, I've got the Astro A50s, and even without that it can still be counted in a reasonable way if you put Super Crunch on instead of Treyarch Mix, which is an audio setting on your options menu for when you are playing multiplayer. But the last one is Flak Jacket. Now Flak Jacket, it is a good perk, bearing in mind obviously you don't want to be dying to random nades and stuff, but the increasing problem for me is trip mines. Now trip mines, for me personally anyways, they can be counted in a better way with more doing of a different perk, which is in the number 5 spot. So we're going to get into the actual list now, and in the actual number 5 spot is Hardwired. Now Hardwired, it does an awful lot of things. So it makes you immune to the detection of a C4 bleep, it makes you immune to trip mines going off, it makes you immune to counter UAVs, it makes you immune to power cores, and it does a lot. I mean, if I haven't mentioned something there, that's off the top of my head, but it's a really good perk, and it's just really good for actually, you know, countering all the BS in the game, like counter UAV. Say if you join late and you're already counter UAV, you might be able to still get that nuclear, or you might be able to pull the team back for winning. So anyways, in the number 5 spot is Hardwired. Now in the number 4 spot, this is a really useful perk, bearing in mind why it's in a top 5 list for the best perks in the game, but yet again it also depends on if you're playing a respawn game mode or not, and I don't really play an awful lot of search and destroy in this game or anything like that where you don't respawn for a long period of time, I guess. But it's Scavenger. Now Scavenger, it allows you to go on them nuclear streaks, it helps you out if you can't really pick up a gun and you run out of ammo. If you're on a streak like 1 kill off the wraps or something, you're like, oh damn it, I can't get my kill streak. So that's why Scavenger's there, really helpful. It doesn't start you out with more ammo than you actually have at the start without Scavenger, I don't believe, like in older Call of Duty, say if you've got Scavenger Pro, but really good perk nonetheless, Scavenger. So one more thing about this perk real quick as well, on some of the guns it can actually, you know, remove the extended mag need for this actual class setup you put it on. Bearing in mind if you're using something like an assault rifle that has good ammo capacity at the start anyways, or something like the Weevil where it has good ammo capacity overall, so you don't really want extended mags or need extended mags if you're going to be able to pick up more ammo for the gun, because I know sometimes people do that to anticipate themselves with more ammo overall by having them few extra bullets in the magazine to start with. So anyways, in the number 3 spot we have the perk Tactical Mask, and bearing in mind rightfully claiming this place as well, a lot of you guys will think it's a lot higher in this list, to be honest, in your own personal perspective on my opinions and stuff. But anyways, in the number 3 spot, like I said, Tactical Mask, it's a really good perk and a really increasing needed thing in Call of Duty now, because a lot of people are using stuns and everything and lethals, well not lethals but the tactical grenades where it doesn't actually kill you, but you know, it does something annoying where you can't either see or move for a period of time, and that period of time, it seems for me to be really increased in this game. So I always tend to run around with Tactical Mask on due to the fact people always throw them around corners and then you might miss that quad feed because they might be able to rush around you, or just that one guy anyways, because when you're actually, you know, stunned or you can't see anything on your screen, it's really annoying. So that's why this is here, because I feel that time's increased for them, allowed to do so in order to kill you when you're, you know, you're disabled and handicapped in that type of style where they've thrown something at you and like, hey, you're gonna run around, you're gonna rush you, and they're gonna get that advantage or the better of you in that situation. So the number 2 spot we have Ghost. Now Ghost is a really good perk, and I don't see an awful lot of people using it in Call of Duty Black Ops 3 when I call my UAV. It doesn't seem to be an increasing problem where there's not a lot of people showing up on the radar, but it is good if you use it. So obviously it's a really good perk in itself for rushers because you have to be moving when you're actually using this perk, but for people who are going on nuclear streaks and you're not so comfortable with the map that you're actually on, I definitely recommend this, because a UAV it's only 5 kills, and bearing in mind if you've got combat focus as well, say if you're like midway through the game and you don't have Ghost on, then people can sometimes get it in like 3 or 2 kills. So bearing in mind it's a really useful perk, and I definitely recommend to have it on a lot of your classes, if not all of them, especially on longer range maps, because then you're going to be doing more rushing and more flanking and more sneaky work. But if you're playing one of those small maps or the smaller maps in the game or the tighter space, more open spots in the game maps, then you will want to be kind of removing this, because a lot of people will be focusing on gunfights more rather than thinking, well, how can I avoid this gunfight, maybe flank people and, you know, see people on the radar in general playing smartly. So anyways, that's in the number 2 spot, Ghost. Now the number 1 spot, taking this spot by storm in my opinion, is Awareness. Now Awareness, it can counter Dead Silence, and if you have a headset, even without a headset it's good, but if you have a headset, I have the Astro A50s and oh my freaking god, it's so good. I suggest to you guys to put Super Crunch on the audio settings instead of Treyarch Mix like I mentioned for Dead Silence earlier, because this makes everything louder, throwing grenades going off and everything, and footsteps even with Dead Silence. So yeah, Dead Silence will reduce the amount of footsteps you can hear at range, but it's still good and you can still actually counter Dead Silence if you're using Awareness. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, slap that like button down below, and bearing in mind this was kind of a short list, but I don't feel like I have to break down perks as much as I do guns, or like, you know, if it was Advanced Warfare weapon variants or anything, because I know they're still adding guns to that game. But anyways, thank you all for watching again. I'll have all your faces as usual. Peace out.